this weather update, we're forecasting a significant severe weather outbreak expected tomorrow from parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma all the way up to parts of Iowa and southern Wisconsin. I'll have the latest details coming right up. Alright, welcome back into another More Weather Forecast video. My name is Beckett Moore, and yesterday I had a video covering the regional severe weather outbreak in Texas and also talking about this severe weather outbreak expected tomorrow, Tuesday, in this large chunk of the central and southern United States. Yesterday we did see some large hail, damaging winds for a lot of areas in Texas, but now we're shifting to tomorrow as another major severe weather outbreak looks to be possible. We have two moderate risk areas issued by the Storm Prediction Center here in the Day 2 categorical outlook, the latest one from the Storm Prediction Center. We have two of those areas, this one up here into western Illinois, northeastern Missouri here into southeastern Iowa, centered around the Quad Cities again, like that moderate risk was on Friday, as we do some comparisons to Friday, but it is a different event. That does include Iowa City as well as Cedar Rapids, Iowa here as well. But down to the south, into southern Missouri, into Arkansas, and into eastern Oklahoma here, we do have another moderate risk area. So two moderate risk areas, and that enhanced risk surrounds those moderate risks, kind of connects those moderate risk areas. And that enhanced risk does include parts of southern Wisconsin, a good chunk of western Illinois, a lot of central, northern, and eastern Missouri here as well, down into even northeastern Texas. So that enhanced risk, 3 out of 5, or moderate risk, 4 out of 5, that enhanced risk does include a lot of areas as well. A widespread severe weather outbreak could definitely be possible tomorrow, but this is another bimodal setup which means we have one and then two areas of concern here where we could see strong damaging storms. Two areas of concern highlighted there by the Storm Prediction Center. Looking at the tornado outlook, this is showing how significant the probabilities are for tornadoes. And then those two moderate risk areas, we do have that 15% hatched areas, which means a significant threat for tornadoes there, and that moderate risk up towards the Quad Cities, and this moderate risk to the west of Little Rock. That does include Fayetteville, Arkansas, south of St. Louis, Missouri, and to the northeast of Dallas, Texas here. So two areas of concern. Around those areas, there is a 10% area for tornadoes. That does include St. Louis, Missouri, as well as Hannibal and Quincy, Missouri. So again, two areas we're watching, but the tornado threat will definitely be a threat we will have to watch as we see these storms into Tuesday afternoon, into Tuesday late evening, and into early Wednesday morning. Now, looking at the wind outlook, we do have a 30% area, which is pretty big, from Arkansas all the way up through Missouri, Illinois, and into southern Wisconsin. So damaging winds, pack a punch, power outages as always, tree damage will be possible here as well. And then with that hail threat, we do have a 30% here hatched area all the way from northern Missouri into parts of eastern and central Iowa, and then that hatched risk does go all the way down into northern or northeastern Texas here. So that hail threat will be big, especially into northern Missouri and into central and eastern as well as southeastern Iowa here as well. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with from the Storm Prediction Center. That's what they got going on right now. That's what they put out. Now we're going to look at the surface-based SIN, which is basically telling us how much capping there is in the atmosphere. If we have the greater the value, the more darker or what's the word here? The more brighter the colors on this map show that we have a lesser chance of severe thunderstorm development. So going into around Tuesday, I'm going to time the storms out here in a sec, but first we're going to look at this. So going into around 4 p.m., this is 4 p.m., we are going to have a lot of capping, which doesn't allow really storms to form into Illinois, central Illinois, down through Missouri, and all the way into Arkansas and into western Tennessee. This area early on with the severe weather outbreak tomorrow into the afternoon and evening, we'll have a lot of capping. That's why we're not going to see significant storms in this area into Tuesday afternoon and into the evening. But in this area that does have not as much capping at all, into northern Illinois, into southern and central Iowa, and into a large chunk of Missouri there, this area right here will not have that capping, will not have that convective inhibition here. So we're going to likely see, strong storms form in that area. It's just that capping here will, make or break our storms in this region. And once we erode away that cap, that's when storms will be allowed to really develop, have large updrafts and become very severe. So that eventually, if we keep playing this out, that will kind of erode away going into around, here is 12 a.m. on Wednesday, so early on Wednesday, we'll see that kind of erode here into Missouri, Illinois, and parts of Arkansas here as well, and that's likely when we'll see our biggest threats for storms here into late Tuesday and into early Wednesday. So something always to look at when forecasting severe storms, and capping is going to be a big element that we're going to have to watch for again into Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky here for tomorrow's severe weather. Now let's time this out looking at the HRRR model starting around, let's see, this is starting around 1 p.m. here on Tuesday. Now going into 2 p.m. we do see storms start to fire off into northeastern and northern Missouri here. Some of these storms that do fire off in these areas will be supercells, so we're going to have to watch these storms very closely as they're going to be packing a punch with hail, damaging winds, and of course tornadoes will be possible, especially on these storms. Big time hail going into the Quad Cities, strong storms into western Illinois by the time we go into 4 p.m. And here's 5 p.m. These storms going into, again, eastern Iowa, northern and central Illinois. But again, we're not seeing much storm development in this area, mainly in this region, because I just showed that this region isn't going to have as much capping as this region is. So that's why we're going to have these storms in this region instead of, this region over here. But then going into late on Tuesday, so going into around 7 p.m. here and then into 8 p.m., we are going to see some showers, possibly some severe thunderstorms here south of St. Louis down towards Arkansas. These aren't really sparking my attention, though. Really what's sparking my attention is by the time we go into around here around 10 p.m. and then here is 11 p.m. and into 12 a.m. here on Wednesday, so this is early on Wednesday, we do see a line of storms, a squall line of storms form here into Missouri, down into northeastern Arkansas. This is going to trek across Missouri into southeastern Iowa, into Arkansas as we go into early on Wednesday. So from 12 a.m. all the way to 6 a.m. this is going to be trekking across Illinois, Missouri, down into Arkansas. This will carry likely all severe hazards. We're going to be having to watch for wind, hail, and possibly embedded tornadoes in this line of storms, as well as the capping will have kind of eroded away by this point. We'll also see those storms down into eastern Texas, of course into Arkansas. This is when we're really going to have to watch for storms down here into Arkansas, and that line of storms will continue to go through, again, damaging winds, hail, and possibly embedded tornadoes with that line until we get into around 10 a.m. here on Wednesday. This is looking at 10 a.m. and we do have some convection over here into Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, as well as Indiana. And we do have a slight risk for Wednesday that extends all the way down into Arkansas and Mississippi, all the way up into Ohio as well. And that's mainly what that's why we have that, because these storms, this convection here is going to be happening in that area. Not really very concerning. Really, once we get into around, I'd say here at the 10Z, so around 5 a.m., this is when the severe weather threat will go down a bit. I would actually say probably around 7 a.m. on Wednesday, and that's when it'll be mostly clear for some areas, but we are still going to have to watch for hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornado in this area as we go into early Wednesday and throughout the day Wednesday. That's why we have that slight risk, but I didn't include that in this video because, we had to talk about everything else, the severe weather outbreak expected tomorrow. So that about wraps up this more weather forecast video. Again, be prepared if you're in Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, down towards Arkansas, and into northeastern Texas, as we are expecting a significant, maybe significant severe weather outbreak tomorrow in those areas. Have a severe weather tornado action plan in place. Have a way to get warnings. As always, subscribe and go follow me on Twitter. Stay prepared out there. Be ready for those storms tomorrow, and I will see you soon with more weather.